Okay, welcome to Yoma Vav, Yoma 66. This is the Talmud Chacham part of the Shir. We're going to look at a Chiddush. The Gemara on Vav and Beis records a number of discussions that people had with Rebbe Lezer. We're talking about Rebbe Lezer al-Gadol, Rebbe Lezer ben Horkenes, who usually argued with Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. The Gemara says, about 10 lines down, if the person, if the animal, the Sira Mishalech, became sick, it couldn't walk by itself, could a person, could the Ishiti on Yom Kippur, or even Yom Kippur fell on Shabbos, could he carry on his shoulder? He said, it's not going to happen. He says, the Sira Mishalech is very strong. It'll carry me and you. Let's say the person, the Ishiti, becomes sick. Could he send it with somebody else? He says basically it'll never happen. If you push the Sira Mishalech off the cliff and it didn't die, basically he wouldn't really answer the questions. He kept on pushing them off. And the Gemara records a number of more questions. He asked them, what is this person, Olam Haba? They asked him, Ma'u lahatzil kivsa min ha'ari. Tosas explains, he's talking about, was it permissible to kill David when he was, before he was with Bathsheba, or is it permissible to kill David instead of him killing Uriah, sending Uriah to Milchama? They asked about a mamzer. Could a mamzer get a Yerusha? Can a mamzer do Yibum? And basically, they asked him one question. He asked him a different question. He said, "Why didn't you ask me this?" He said, "Ma'u liyari." They asked him, "Could he have a Yerusha mamzer?" He says, "Ma'u liyabim." He says, "Why don't you ask me whether he could do Yibum or not?" There's about 8 or 9 questions over here, and the Gemara explains his shita. Why? It's not because he was pushing them away. The reason Lezer didn't really answer them directly was because he never said anything that he didn't directly hear from his Rebbe. If he didn't directly hear it from his Rebbe, he wouldn't say it. Even though he knew the psak, he knew the halacha in all these cases, he knew the answer to these questions about Yom Kippur, the Yishiti, he knew them. He wouldn't answer them because he didn't hear it directly from his Rebbe. It's a little strange. It's not because he pushed them away. I mean, he really is pushing them away over here. He's not answering their question. What do you mean, also, after they asked him these questions about Yom Kippur, the Brisa continues, the Chacham say, and the article translated, but the Chacham say, sounds like the Chacham are arguing on Rebbe Lezer. So it seems to be that it's machlokes, and it seems to be that the halacha was known. It was known. The Chacham told you the clear halacha. We on the top of the daf, the Gemara really said one of the answers to these questions, that ishiti afilu b'Shabbos, that you're allowed to carry the animal on your shoulders. There's no Isra of Osa. So what's going on over here? Did he know the answers? Did he not know the answers? What does it mean? Why was it that why would he not say anything that he didn't hear if he knew the halacha? I want to suggest over here that Rebbe Lezer ben Horkenes is known as Shemusi. He was considered from Beis Shammai. Beis Shammai was known to be Machmir, and Beis Hillel was known to be Mekel. What does it mean? Beis Shammai was Machmir and Beis Hillel was Mekel. If they knew the halacha was one way, why were they Machmir when they Mekel? Usually Chumrah and Kula come out when a person's not sure about the halacha. He's not 100% sure about the halacha. So therefore, what do you do when you're not sure about it? You go lahachmir, you go lahakel. So Beis Shammai didn't really know the certain things they were unsure about. They went lahachmir. Beis Hillel was more mekel. I want to suggest over here that Lezer really, he answered their questions. Like he says, Lom shifligan bidvarim. Basically, when he was pushing them away, he was answering their questions, meaning he was saying no. He was saying, no, you're not allowed to do. That's why the Gemara says, the Chacham argue on him. The article translates, but the Chacham say, the Chacham argue on Rebbe Lezer. Elazar was clear. Elazar said, he asked him, "Are you allowed to carry the animal on your shoulder?" And he said, "The animal is strong enough," meaning basically you're not allowed to. He was answering, you're not allowed to carry, you're not allowed to sit in the bi'arach, you're not allowed to go down any misenu. And also these questions about David HaMelech, whether he was allowed to kill David HaMelech. Why are you asking about the roeh? Why are you asking about the kivsa? Ask me about something else. Basically, he was being machmir, and he was saying you couldn't do these things. That's basically Elazar, and that's Lomnei Shivlik Amador. He wasn't pushing him away, he wasn't answering the question. He was saying, because he didn't hear it from his rabbi, and it wasn't 100% clear to him, it was only 99% clear to him the answer, he would be machmir. And that's really what the Gemara is saying over here. He went l'chumrah, and he wasn't sure. I'm not talking about a 50-50 safek. If it's 50-50 safek, then we know that, you're supposed to go safek deraisa l'chumrah. Here, he was pretty sure, but he didn't hear it definitively from his rabbi, so therefore he went l'hachmir. We know that I think Rav Elchanan Wasserman he says that in Yoma Mashiach we're going to paskin not like Beis Hillel, we're going to paskin like Beis Shammai. So what does that mean? We're going to go more lahachmir. Now we're making, now we're lahachmir. If you look around, most Sifrei Halacha bring all the chumras. I think over the generations, because of they say Yeridas Adoros, we've become more machmir on certain things. We're not sure about things. We go lahachmir. So I want to suggest that when we say Beit Shammai Beis Hillel, Beit Shammai was machmir, and Beis Hillel was mekel. Is that we're talking about things where you're 90, 95%, 98% sure that it's true. Beit Shammai was choshesh lahachmir, and Beis Hillel relied on what they basically knew, even though it wasn't 100% clear to them. It was 95% clear to them. They relied on what they knew, and they would be mekel. And over the generations, we become more machmir. What it means in Yoma Mashiach, when a go like Beis Shammai, is that we're gonna assume that when we're not clear about things, when we reach a level where we're not clear, where there really is a reason to doubt yourself. Beis Hillel never doubted themselves. They were clear, they were unequivocal. If they felt something, you could be mekel, they were mekel. If not, they were machmir. Beit Shammai was always indecisive. So in Yoma Mashiach also, we're going to be indecisive. We're going to stem the tide, let's say, of the chumras. Now it's the way of the world is to be machmir and everything. Because we know the Gemara says koach de'tera adif, that it's better to be mekel than to be machmir. When we really are unsure of things, so we're going to follow Beis Shammai, and we're going to wait a second. We're going to wait and not be so quick to be machmir. We'll wait and try to find makom to be mekel. That's what Beis Shammai did. Beis Shammai wasn't sure of things, so because they didn't have a choice, they went lahachmir. They tried to be mekel, but they couldn't. If they couldn't shavim pi rabim olam, so they were machmir. We're also in Yoma Mashiach, we're going to be hesitant to follow the practice that is now to be machmir, and we'll try to find reasons to be mekel, because ultimately koach de'tera adif.